Hello everyone, Professor here, and welcome to my dining room. Been here a couple times. And today I am going to be finalizing some repairs on my table. I worked on it last night and this morning. My initial plan kind of worked. But after we turned the table back onto its feet this morning, we found there was a little bit more of an issue. And I didn't record the first part because my kids were all over the place and I don't want them on camera right now. First couple of reasons, mainly because they are foster kids and we're not supposed to have them on social media and stuff. So, they're asleep. Our oldest is with my wife, and I'm going to go ahead and see about finishing up real quick. So, there's the table, and let's go ahead and get it flipped over so we can show you what was done and what needs to be done. Yeah, so I fixed this section yesterday. What had happened is almost a year ago, right after we got this table, this was a floor model, and we had it, I think we had it expanded like it is. My niece sat right here, and all of the supports broke, and that is my dishwasher. Give me just a second here. Alright, so that's going to stop beeping at me. But my niece sat right here and the table just dropped a little bit because all the supports broke. And so I, initially just turned it over right away because I was like, oh, well, let's just fix this right here, right now. And then because the screws here on the support and on some of the other items underneath, which we'll get to, the screws just stripped out of the sidebar and the top and everything. So I was like, oh, I'll just drill new holes and put some screws in, it'll be good. It was not that easy. Then I came up with a convoluted plan, which I'll maybe briefly touch on. And then after a couple months, I came up with a simpler plan, which took me a couple more months to do. And that even kind of didn't go exactly as I wanted. So, let's get this flipped over and I'll show you. I probably should be doing 2 people with this, but my wife's out shopping and everyone else is tiny and asleep. Okay, so simple plan that I came up with was to get some small brackets and screw them along the vertical and the tabletop. There's not a lot of space for the drill, so it is what I did, but I didn't do it exactly as I wanted. It's not as pretty as I wanted because the screws are all at an angle, not perpendicular. So let's go ahead and flip it around. And can I flip it around? Yeah, we'll just do it this way. But I ended up using all 20 in the one package, even though I didn't really need to. Oh, that's... I just saw those little closures, and that could be what would help us get the gap closed when it's... Cool, but I'm actually gonna switch it around here to see if I can get you a good view at the screws. Okay, so there's the screws. The ones that go into the tabletop are flush like how I wanted, but the others are all at an angle. I guess I don't need all 20 there, but this support, well, there were supports here, but I removed them. It was supported like that, and I did the same thing here. This one had 2 supports only, one here and one here, but it's just been hanging down so long that I felt about like putting all of them in there, I guess. But yeah, so this had come detached, and it would hang like a full inch, inch and a half, and this separated a little bit. So what we're gonna do is this over there, because that one right there is kind of separating a little bit. It's not as bad as it was over here. I don't think I'm even gonna remove those braces. I might even do it a couple other places just to have security, but I'll go ahead and show you exactly how I did this. I see it's 5 inches, 4 inches, something like that. Okay, maybe 6, but my drill is longer than that. And so I couldn't get it in there. I tried removing this, but it was very, very securely secured here, so it would not separate here. But yeah, so let's move over there and we'll set up, and I'll show you what my process was to install all of these. Alright, so the first thing I did was follow the instructions on the package that said get a 5/64 drill bit, which I got, and then to use this for the pilot holes. If you do not use a pilot hole, you will probably break your screws. But then I took the screw, and right where it starts to thin down and taper in, I lined up the drill bit there, and then I just put the tape so that the pilot hole would just go as far as the wide part of the screw. And the section that needs repaired is actually kitty corner, not straight across from what we repaired earlier, but that's insignificant news. So next thing I did was I cut this open with scissors the first time. And I'm going to be using a drill. I'm hoping that tiny baby upstairs doesn't wake up and toddlers over there don't wake up. And it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm exhausted. I don't know why. Well, I'm not really exhausted. I could fall asleep. I still don't know exactly why. But I took one of these, and just one, and I marked all my holes where marked all the places where I was gonna put a hole. Okay. So got a support right here. My floor is uneven, but that's okay. So, let's see here, how does this feel? Okay, so the support for the center mechanism is a little bit loose, so I'll put a bracket or two on there, but I'll just record here. So, I put it in, and I marked it with a white colored pencil because this is a dark one, and I put it close to the vertical end of the hole so that the screw would just be over there. And then I would drill a hole in a second, and then I would put the screw in and then drill as best as I could into here so that the hole would for sure line up, and then I put the screw in. So let's go ahead and go through that process. Air conditioner just kicked on, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. And let's move this a little bit. And if you've never used this tape method, you just drill in until your tape's at the point, and then you're at the depth you want. I had wanted to make a video on the hole repair, but that would have been hours because I had to troubleshoot a number of times through, and I got stopped with just like, oh, my plan's not working. What do I do now? And there does exist a drill and also a drill attachment that allows you to drill at like 90-degree angles in a space like this. I don't have one, and the hardware store just down the street didn't have one to rent or purchase or anything like that, so I ended up just drilling them all at an angle. Cool. And let's actually move it around because I'm right-handed and the camera's kind of in the way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my weight on the crossbar that is just outside of the screen where my hand is, but I have my weight right here so that it is flush, the vertical piece to the tabletop. Okay, and where'd my other screw go? Oh, it's right here. Cool. And then I'm going to just do it one-handed because I want to keep the weight on it. Actually, no, yeah, that'll be fine. I'll put weight on it in a second. And I know this is not the best way to do it, but this is the way that, and I've applied the weight now, the way that I'm doing it in a way that so far is working pretty well. But tightening it so it's tight, my father-in-law months ago had suggested and advised, be sure to not strip the wood, so don't screw this too tight so that it'll pull out. Yeah. Cool. I think I'm going to go ahead and go this way, from the small end of the gap to the large end. And I think I'm only going to do like 3 or 4. First time I did it, I just used the bracket and made all the marks and went through and did all the drills on the tabletop portion. And then I would attach the bracket 1 or 2 at a time or so. I was doing it one at a time, and then near the end I just did a couple. But attach this one and then this one just like I demonstrated here. but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, there is the final portion. I just did a total of 6, and now it is very secure here. And secure here, I checked there, here, and there again, and they're all seem secure enough, so I'm not going to go ahead and bother with them. Even though it'd probably be a good idea to put like one bracket, one bracket, one bracket, one bracket. But I'm not going to. Alright, that feels pretty good. I'm not putting a lot of weight on it because I don't want to break everything. It's just so we can have a little bit of weight on it. And I personally don't think this is the sturdiest of table designs, but it's lasted us a year and it'll last us another couple of years hopefully. The buckles that I pointed out, I went ahead and did all 4, and it looks like it's actually pulled it like a positive arc a little bit in some of the places, so that might add a little bit of strength. And this just doesn't seal the best, so my personal opinion, not the best table design, but it's what we have and what we enjoy. And we're not getting a new one anytime soon. My father-in-law talked about adding in some extra supports, so we might do that. I don't think I'll make a video on that. I said I'd talk about my complex idea for fixing this. So, my idea was on those supports that the internal mechanism moved along, was to knock out the angled supports that were in there and then add in like a 2x4 that I had cut lengthwise, and attach that to that existing running mechanism support structure, and then attach the 2x4 to the tabletop. But that was real complex, and then I thought of the brackets and I was like, well, that's simple. And so I eventually ended up doing the brackets probably 4 to 6 months after I thought of the brackets. But Thanksgiving is next week. My mom's coming into town tomorrow, and my wife wanted this done, so I finally got it done. I did real quickly want to just go over what tools I used. These are the brackets. They are 1-inch just corner braces, and comes in a pack of 20. And then I used a bunch of these screws, which I had lying around. I don't remember where where I got these screws from. But they're the exact screws that this says to use, which are the number 6 by 3/4 inch flathead wood screws. And I had, I don't know, 150, 200 or so just hanging around. And I used 52 of them or so. Quick math. My IKEA drill with the DeWalt 5/64 drill bit. A hammer to remove the old braces a little bit. A 2x4, which I had under the corner when I was working on this corner, because when it's upside down it was over there. But when I was working on this corner, I had it supported on a 2x4 because the gap was really big and the floor is pretty uneven, so this helped. Just a regular screwdriver. It's actually a number 2 or number 4, it looks like, instead of a number 6. But it worked. And a white colored pencil. A couple other things that were truly inconsequential. These are what actually I use to do this stuff. But I feel I'm getting kind of rambly. I have a fixed table that I feel is much sturdier. And I am not a carpenter. I guess I should have said this at the beginning. I'm not a carpenter. I don't work with wood or building furniture at all. But I like to fix things. I like to figure things out. And I like to use things that I've saved. Yeah. Cool. But that is it. I'm going to go ahead and be quiet now and sign off for the night. So that's been the Professor's Garage in my dining room, and I want you to have a fantastic day and a happy Thanksgiving and a wonderful life, which is a fantastic movie. Maybe I'll talk about that later.